It was a long ride from waiting to graduate high school after 9/11 to going to boot camp to my school of infantry, then our build up. So I was almost like a nervous excitement, not sure what to expect. I had no idea. A lot of firsts were going on in my mind. First time out of the country in a war zone, first time serving overseas. I assumed it'd be the first time I'd be shot at, first time I'd see a dead body. Just a lot of the uncertainty of the unknown. My name is Tyler Tannehill. I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps Infantry. I served with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines from 2005 to 2009. The Marine Corps Infantry, you're kind of a jack of all trades. You have to be able to clear a house, fix a vehicle, pass out blankets, do medical stuff, help out a local civilian, as well as click your weapon on fire and maneuver on the enemy. I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2006 and Iraq in 2007. In Afghanistan, I was in the northeastern part, kind of like Camp Blessing. In Iraq, I was in the Haditha area. The first firefight that happened was when I was in Afghanistan. We were walking down kind of into a valley. We got ambushed from above. And, being the first time I'd been shot, I wasn't quite sure what was going on for a few moments. And then it kind of just clicked. And my training just kicked in. And I don't even recall counting rounds. I just knew exactly when to reload my magazine. It was interesting. I kind of got caught in the open. I looked to my left, and there was our machine gunner, along with the machine gun team leader, along with the A gunner behind a small tree. I looked to my right, and my team leader at the time was barely behind a stump. He was exposed from the chest up, so I just kind of laid down on the mountain and just started firing. Zero cover or concealment. Looking back, probably wasn't the smartest idea. I probably should have tried a little bit harder, but at the time I just felt like my job at that point was not to, look after myself, but to look after my squad and help them out and lay fire down. I remember I reloaded one of my magazines and it didn't quite seat right, so I looked down and the rounds just kind of went back and forth across my legs, hitting the dirt. And we got done. After our firefight, after we've moved to contact, we got back to where we were staying that night. And it was kind of that classic cliche of, how did I not get shot? Stripped down, kind of checked myself over just to give myself that double. All right, I'm good. Made it through that one. Highest build I had in the Marine Corps was squad leader. My job was basically I was in charge of 3 teams, roughly around 12 guys. And my job was to do everything from the daily tasks from the squad of mission planning as well as the direct leadership on the ground if something was going to go wrong. I was kind of the first say of any decision making for those 12 guys. I did everything from route planning, made sure we were in the right spot at the right time, made sure they had their food, their water. It was kind of a very important job. It's the kind of the meat and bones of the Marine Corps. When I got to Iraq, it was a lot different just because I already had that first deployment under my belt. I already had the baptism by fire, so to say. I've already, dealt with losing people from your unit. It was a little bit more, not curiosity of what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. So I felt like I was better prepared, much better, not only physically but mentally, as well as, just tactically. Getting out of the Marine Corps, for me personally, it definitely changed my outlook, not only on life, but just the way I live my life. When you go overseas, you have this feeling and this thought of like, I could be one of the people that doesn't make it home, or I could be the one who's permanently injured or disabled. And so when you're 18, 19, and 20, which is how old I was when I was overseas, I wouldn't say it's unhealthy to think like that on a daily basis, but it's definitely something that takes a toll on you. If I was going to talk to somebody who was getting ready to go on their first deployment to Afghanistan, I would say to him that be professional. It's a life or death situation. Never let your guard down. There's times you can have a little fun and during your downtime, but for the most part, it's all business. It's not worth dying to get an extra 5 minutes of sleep or be looking the wrong way or not paying attention on a convoy or anything like that. So that would be my advice. I'd also recommend to him that when the moment does come, bring the thunder. So don't mess around. The advice I would give to a Marine getting ready to EAS or get out of the Marine Corps would be a few things. I would tell them to, one, have a few months' salary saved up before they got out because your paycheck does end and you can't always find a job like you think back home. So have a little cushion there. I'd recommend biting the bullet, and if you can, move in with a friend or your parents for next to nothing or free if you can, just until you get everything set up for sure. As well as that, I would recommend them taking advantage of their benefits. They exist for a reason. The VA has a ton of benefits. don't wait for the VA to come to you. I recommend, searching it out. So if you have problems either with your health, be it physically or mentally, go get help. The VA is there. I'd also recommend if you'd like, use the GI Bill. The GI Bill got reintroduced as the post 9/11 GI Bill a few years ago. I'm currently on it. I would recommend it if that's the path you want to take. But if not, my recommendation would be to find some hobby or outlet that you enjoy and have that as kind of your escape, because there is a lot of transitional problems that a lot of veterans do face, because you're going from surrounded from your best friends of 20 people in your platoon that you're known for 4 years, gone to 1, 2, 3 wars with, and all of a sudden you're back home in Overland Park, Kansas, and all your friends from high school are doing their own thing, and you hang out with them, but you can't really relate. So I would recommend finding that hobby and just forcing yourself to go make friends, forcing yourself to be active. I think a lot of veterans, including myself, kind of sit in their room and buy a 12-pack on a Friday night and kind of just not sulk, but hang out by themselves. And after about a year of that, I just forced myself to get involved. I got involved with my school, different various clubs, as well as student government. If that's not the route that you took going to college, just force yourself to do something outside of sitting in your room and make friends, live your life. Currently, I'm enrolled in Kansas State University. I'm going to graduate in December with a degree in political science. In my free time, I like to do a lot of stuff to help veterans out. I do a lot of stuff with IAVA, and I go up to D.C. quite a bit when they ask me to, as well as I've been in New York for them and also down to Texas. I do anything from lobbying for veterans benefits. I've got the privilege and the honor to speak to a lot of important people, mostly senators and congressmen, but I also had a meeting in the White House with the First Lady. We talk everything about the GI Bill to help veterans get jobs, as well as suicide prevention. We also talk about the effects of PTSD and just kind of breaking that stigma with the workforce, because veterans unemployment is so high. So I get to do a lot of stuff with that, and it's been great for me just to kind of push me to not only help myself through it, but also other veterans. I also work with another organization, Team Rubicon, which I get to go help disaster reliefs. We get to be kind of the first people in there and kind of either set up medical as well as just assist in any way we can. So when I got out, my mentality was that a lot of people didn't come home and a lot of people can't live their lives. My whole thought process was that since a lot of people couldn't come home, they couldn't see their kids, they couldn't see their parents anymore, or their parents couldn't see them, that I was not gonna live my life through them, but I was gonna live it for them, since they can't do it. So that's kind of shaped why I do a lot of things like the going to DC and helping other veterans out, as well as just setting personal daily goals. I try to live my life because they can't.